We got Sammy Sosa.
Homie, Sammy Sosa's white now.
We got Romeo Santos.
Yeah, he's half Puerto Rican.
You sure? Not Henry Santos?
He was in Fast 7. He was in Fast 7. He was in Dior.
Papi, let me tell you something, papi. You eat cornflakes with azúcar, sugar, papi. You eat cornflakes with sugar. Okay, manito, pero you addicted to guandules, all right? You addicted. Okay, you right. I eat guandules, but you eat plátanos de salami. You eat that every day. Yeah, every day. That's why I'm strong. But man, hermanito, you eat rice and beans casi todo día, every day. Okay, I eat rice and beans, but you eat cuchi frito every Saturday. Okay, papi, come on. Okay, but you eat pastelitos every Sunday. God don't like that, bro. He don't. Okay, we make pastelitos a lot, okay? We make it a lot, but papi, come on. You eat habichuela con dulce every holiday, papi. Come on. What is up with that? Oh, wait, I eat it too, so I don't know why I'm talking. Now that I think about it, we speak Spanish. You speak Spanish? Sí, of course, papi, I speak Spanish. And we eat the same things that you said I eat, what I said you eat. Oh my God. See, yeah. We so similar, you know? You know what I'm saying? So similar, so equal. What I eat, you eat. Everything you said, I eat that shit too. Why we fighting, bro? Okay, bro. Come here, bring it in. Give me a hug. Why we fighting? This is stupid. Yeah, you're right, man. Give me a hug. This is crazy.
¿Qué lo que mi gente? What is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the second segment of VBX Familia Speaks, where you guys give me the topics for my videos. So, as y'all can already tell, the topic of this video is this supposed long-standing beef between Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, and I'm just going to give my opinion on this. And here is a quick screenshot of the message that was sent to me requesting this video. And like I said in my previous video, don't worry guys, if you send me any video suggestions, your identity will remain anonymous. Now guys, when it comes to this whole beef between us, I have to admit, I really have no idea, or I had no idea where, when, how this whole thing started. Growing up, you know, this is something that I did hear about, you know, a few times, and I just kind of figured, oh, this is probably something that started in New York, since, you know, that seems to be where all of our problems with people seem to stem from. But I guess it makes sense considering, you know, most Dominicans are in New York, and there's a lot of Puerto Ricans in New York, so I'm sure, you know, some tension, you know, arises out of that. But I don't know. I just never really knew, like, why? Like, what really started this whole Dominicans versus Puerto Rican thing? For me, growing up, I would say, you know, most of the things that I heard was, like, you know, who has the prettier women, or, you know, how many titles and, like, the beauty pageants has, you know, DR1 versus Puerto Rico, you know, stuff like that. And but experience wise, you know, like I've said a billion times, you know, there weren't really a lot of Caribbeans in this, or Caribbean Latinos in this area anyway. So I mean, there were some Dominicans, there were some Puerto Ricans. The Puerto Ricans that I was closest to, though, I met through my church, and there's one Puerto Rican girl that I'm still fairly close to. I'm doing the makeup for her wedding next month, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, there was no beef between us, and I don't know if it's more so like between the men versus the women, but I don't know, I just never had no problems with Puerto Ricans. When I was growing up in the apartment complex that my family lived in, I remember there was a man that lived upstairs from us. He was Puerto Rican, and he was actually my first encounter with a black, dark-skinned Puerto Rican. For the longest time, I thought he was Dominican, and then later I found out he was Puerto Rican, and I was surprised because up to then I had only ever come across, you know, white, light-skinned Puerto Ricans. You know, I was a kid, so of course, you know, I didn't know better at that time. But yeah, but looking at it back now and thinking about how, you know, he spoke, it's like, oh yeah, he definitely had a Puerto Rican accent and spoke differently from us. But anyway, yeah, that was like my personal experience with Puerto Ricans growing up. Now, since I have been on this here YouTube, being on here has really expanded my knowledge to the mindsets and opinions that other groups of people have about each other, especially Dominicans, since, I do, watch a lot of, other Dominican videos or like Dominican or videos from other Dominican YouTubers. And so I have come across comments about this whole DR versus PR stuff. And I will say it's mostly Dominicans making the comments that I come across, which, that could just be because of the fact, like I said, I watch more Dominican videos than anything else. Maybe if I was watching Puerto Rican videos, I'd see more Puerto Ricans talking about it. But from what I have gathered, just based on the comments that I've seen, now this is not saying that I believe these things or that I can prove these to be true or false. These are just things that I have come across in comments, is people saying that Puerto Ricans have lost their culture, that they're just totally Americanized, that they're all like mixed in with Black people, and that they can't speak Spanish. Like, those are the type of things that I see, or that they're ghetto now. Well, mainly like the New Yorkers, the ones in New York. So whether that is true or not, I don't know. It sounds like a lot of people are generalizing, to be honest, because I doubt they're all that way. And honestly, guys, I literally Googled this stuff because, again, I really don't know where the real tension between us supposedly comes from. So I'll include a few quick screenshots of some of the answers that I found just online. Now, as far as whatever stereotypes or whatever Puerto Ricans may have towards Dominicans, I'm not entirely sure. I have come across a few saying that, we're arrogant and stuff like that, and like, why are we always talking bad about Puerto Ricans? Besides that, I don't really know what it is that Puerto Ricans think about us, but, I feel like part of the issue is that, Hispanics, we all think our country is the best and that we have the best people and the best food and the best music and this and that. And so we're always like trying to prove how we're like better or whatever. But it's funny because when it comes to Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, I feel like, we're actually a lot more culturally similar than we are different. And I don't know if this may be part of it, but that might be a reason why sometimes we may clash, because it's like we're trying to prove how one is better than the other, but at the same time we're so similar, so it makes it harder to prove that. So I don't know, just an idea of what might be a source of attention. But as far as like, people saying that Puerto Ricans have lost their culture and stuff like that, that is something I've heard before, not just from like Dominicans. And if that is to be true at all, in my mind, the most logical explanation I would think for that is because of the fact that Puerto Ricans have been in the U.S. for over 50 years now. So by this point, you have probably already third, fourth generation Puerto Ricans, in the U.S. So, I feel like it's only logical that over time, like, you're not gonna hold on to your culture the same way anymore. Like, you're going to assimilate into American culture, just, whatever the culture is in the area where you live, and if, generation after generation, if you're not keeping up with speaking Spanish and your parents aren't teaching you Spanish, then, you're not going to know how to speak it unless you take the initiative to learn to speak Spanish on your own. So, that is the only reason why I would think that might happen. And of course, I don't think that applies to all Puerto Ricans. But, I just feel like this whole DR versus PR stuff, it's just kind of silly. At the end of the day, we're all Latinos, we're all Hispanics. So, like, why the beef? Puerto Rico is literally like a hop, skip, and a jump away from DR. I think it's like a 30-minute ferry ride or something like that. Like, we're so not just close in proximity, but I mean, just close culturally, you know? I mean, granted, we have our different genres of music, but I don't know. I just feel like we're a lot more similar than, you know, we are different. So I just don't see the need to attack each other, whether it's, you know, the Dominicans always talking crap about Puerto Ricans or, you know, vice versa. But I do think it is more Dominicans talking crap. So, you know, we definitely work on that. But yeah, to me, it's silly. That's just my opinion on it. But I also wanted to quickly touch on this song that dropped earlier today. It is by Bad Bunny, Residente, and Ile, I think is her name. So they dropped a song and it's basically calling for the people of Puerto Rico to sharpen their knives. And it's calling for the resignation of their governor, Ricardo Rosello, I think that's how it's called. So apparently there have been protests over Puerto Rico happening on July 10th. 6 members of Rosello's administration were fired for allegedly committing fraud and money laundering. And there was also an encrypted chat between Rosello and his closest allies, which leaked, which revealed messages laced with transphobia, homophobia, especially towards Ricky Martin, fat shaming, and a disgusting joke about the accumulation of corpses after Hurricane Maria, and attacks against journalists. So Residente and Bad Bunny and this girl Ile, they basically took to the studio and pointed out the governor's like scandals and yeah, basically calling for the flames of Borinquen to light up and for the people to, you know, rise up and make a change or whatever. And I just have to say, like, I think this is pretty cool. Like, you know, I know there's a lot of artists that don't want to get involved in politics, and you know, I totally get that, and they're definitely not obligated to get involved with politics or anything like that at all. But the fact that these are like some big Puerto Rican names right now, especially Bad Bunny, and you know, they, you know, basically kind of took that stance and, you know, wrote this song like calling this dude out. Oops. I'm like, yo, Dominicans, take some notes. Like, I think this is something, you know, we could do as well, because Lord knows the government in DR is some crap right now. I mean, dudes is over there trying to change the constitution so they can stay in power longer, you know. And I mean, there have been people protesting in DR. Just this past weekend there was a big protest in like Santiago and stuff, because people are tired of the government. They're tired of just the corruption going on. But it would be nice though to see some of, you know, our Dominican artists kind of taking that, you know, stand and speaking out and using their platform and their reach to speak out on the things that are going on in DR. So here's a quick clip of, you know, some parts of that song.
Que su madre, tú no eres hijo del cañaveral escoria, tú eres hijo del cabrón más corrupto de la historia. Disculpen mis expresiones, pero al igual que Ricky, estoy liberando las tensiones, le doy fuego a la fortaleza.
Vamos cortante como los cuchillos, sacando chispa hasta llegar al filo.
A prender en fuego a tu gabinete. Los títeres guardan las cortes y saquen los machetes. La cuna de la cría, con el boricua nadie se mete. Todas las paredes dicen.
So, you know, I just kind of feel like there's so much going on politically in Latin America right now. There's so many big issues that we could focus on. And I feel like instead of, you know, highlighting each other's differences or trying to create these rifts between us, why not like show support to each other and like, you know, just back each other up and be there for each other. At the end of the day, you know, we're all Hispanics, we're all Latinos. You know, I know most Latin American countries, you know, we're very different, but at the same time, we do have like that Latin pride in those moments where it's like, you know, we can all share that, you know, Latin pride together. But yeah, I mean, especially as like Caribbeans, and we are so close to each other, like Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, I just don't see the reason for that tension there. Like, it's stupid, honestly. I feel it like it's stupid. And, you know, I know sometimes we can have bad experiences with individuals from either group, and that can kind of, I don't know, maybe taint your perception of them. You know, I'm sure there's some Puerto Ricans that have had some bad experiences with Dominicans, and there's some Dominicans that have had bad experiences with Puerto Ricans. But one thing I'm against a lot is generalizing. I don't like to generalize entire groups of people, because not everyone within a specific group or an ethnic group is the same. There's going to be good and bad people in every group. So anyway, that was it for this video, guys. Let me know your opinion on this whole DR versus PR, you know, thing. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.